First of all, what happened today with Tom Emmer of Minnesota, right? He was going to be the new Speaker of the House. He won the Christian Fascist Party's nomination in a closed session where they all get together and, I don't know, wash each other's feet or something, or handle snakes. I don't know. But he is Tom Emmer of Minnesota. He's the number 3 man in charge of the Christian Fascist Party in the U.S. House, right? And he dropped his bid for Speaker today, just a few hours after getting the so-called Republican Party nomination. I mean, they gave it to him, and he tucked his tail between his legs and wet himself and said, no, I'm dropping out. You know why? Because there was a quick backlash from the neo-Nazis in the U.S. House and in the general population of this country, and the orange bastard got word that Emmer was not going to be anything of the sort. So if Mr. Tom Emmer thought he was going to be Speaker of the House, according to the orange bastard, well, I think not. Thank you very much. And that ended that. Now, the fact that he cut and run so quickly, Tom Emmer, gee, what are these people afraid of? I'm going to get to Michael Cohen's testimony today, too, because you talk about somebody who should be afraid and appears not to be the least bit afraid is Michael Cohen. I'll get to him in a minute. But I wonder what these representatives, what these filthy little pissy white men, what are they so afraid of? What a bunch of chicken shits. I've never seen anything like this. But his abrupt exit made it clear that these Christian fascists were as far as ever from trying to come up with one of their foolish members to be the Speaker of the House. It's not going to happen, boys, and you are boys. So that leaves the U.S. Congress, at least the House of Representatives, leaderless and paralyzed for what now, 3 weeks. And you can bet your ass that the rest of the world is watching this very carefully and using it to gauge what they're going to do next to cause mischief or death and destruction for the United States. This is just one of the attendant benefits that our enemies are deriving from what these Christian fascists are doing. You have this son of a bitch from Alabama who still will not release his hold on the promotions necessary in the military. And then you have the Christian fascist demons in the U.S. House doing this. And we have a budget deadline or something coming up, in about 3 weeks? Oh, go ahead, Malloy, laugh. I can't help it. So anyway, back to poor old Tom Emmer of Minnesota, this cowardly little shit. It made him the 3rd Republican this month to be chosen in these caucuses, closed-door caucuses, to lead the party, only to have his attempt to do so crash and burn in this endless cycle of Christian fascist bullshit, personality conflicts, and these ideological fits. Look, these people are not going to be satisfied until they exhume Adolf Hitler. That might make them happy. They could follow, but they don't have to do that, of course. They have a combination of Hitler and Jesus in their minds, squatting in Mar-a-Lago or wherever he was for his case today, some golf course someplace, right? This is just, it's gone from the macabre to the obscene, what is going on. So these Christian devils have now succeeded in rejecting all 3 of their top leaders. They got McCarthy, they got Scalise, and now this sorry son of a bitch. These are the top 3 in the Republican Party in the U.S. House. Over the past few weeks, the Republicans kicked all 3 of them to the curb. I mean, it should be very clear that they are not going to be able to come up with a Speaker of the House. I can't put it any simpler. They're not going to be able to. What that means, very simply, is one of two scenarios. Either the government of the United States collapses into chaos and the country goes right down the sewer, or some responsible Republicans, if that's not a total contradiction in terms, a couple of 5-10 responsible Republicans will approach the Democratic Party and they'll say, we've got to cut a deal. And then the leader of the Democratic Party in the House will say, okay. Hakeem Jeffries. That's the only chance these son of a bitches have of restoring government that functions in the U.S. House. These Christian fascists just keep their little bitch arguments over who should be in charge. And all this is going on as two wars are raging overseas. Government shutdown approaches, but they don't care. As a matter of fact, they promote this. Remember what the Christian devils want. They want global chaos. They want as much blood flowing and murder occurring as possible because these sick son of a bitches believe that that is going to inspire their Messiah to return on a flaming horse or some such shit. I don't know. Now, Emmer started the day today with a very narrow victory. He won an internal party nominating contest by a vote of 117 to 97 over a neo-fascist Christian devil named Mike Johnson of Louisiana. Oh, yeah, there's another one, right? And the margin in that vote, 117 to 97, oh, sure, Emmer won it, but that didn't mean anything. All that signaled was that these house Christian devils are still at each other's throats. And this is not a civil war in the Republican Party. This is an ideological battle, and the Christian devils continue to think they're going to win it. And unless some responsible Republicans in the House cut a deal with Hakeem Jeffries and the Democratic Party, they will win it. So, according to what I have here, immediately after Emmer's nomination, the 117 to 97 vote, about 24 of these Christian devils indicated that they would not vote for him on the floor. And that, of course, would deny him the majority that he needs to succeed. Any of these devils need to succeed in a vote in the House. Remember, they can only lose, 4 votes? And the deal's off. So Emmer went around to try to meet with the holdouts to try to win them over. And at the time when he was trying to do that, the Orange Devil down in New Jersey, whatever the fuck he landed after his hearing today, he issued a scathing statement on social media. And in that statement, he expressed his vehement opposition to Emmer. And Trump called him a globalist rhino. What the fuck is that? He called him a, that's right, Republican in name only. But he also said that if Emmer were elected to be Speaker of the House, it would be, in the orange bastard's words, a tragic mistake. And then the orange bastard wrote this, according to New York Times, he wrote this, quote, I have many wonderful friends wanting to be Speaker of the House, and some are truly great warriors. Rhino Tom Emmer, who I do not know well, is not one of them. He never respected the power of a Trump endorsement or the breadth and scope of MAGA. Make America great again, end quote. Is that some sick shit? I mean, there is toxic narcissism. But this orange bastard has taken that term to a level that whoever came up with that term never thought anyone could possibly ascend to. There he is. He never respected the power of a Trump endorsement. Sadly, criminally, sickeningly, Trump's right. If you don't have the Trump endorsement, sucker, you ain't going nowhere in the Republican Party. That is Donald Trump's deformed, demonic baby. Yes, it's a little baby lying in a crib covered with black crepe. And this little baby has no eyes and no mouth. And it has 5 arms and 6 legs. And if it ever learns to get out of its crib, it's going to only scuttle around following Donald Trump wherever he goes. Ooh, that's pretty grotesque. God damn, Malloy, you got to stay off the mushrooms. Woo! Now, just if you're keeping track of this, a majority of the scum that were opposed to Emmer were members of the Christian Nazi House Freedom Caucus and would give Trump a blowjob anytime he requests. And he requests it often from these scum. Literal. I'm not talking literally. You know what I mean. Any candidate for speaker can lose only those 3 or 4 votes and still win the speakership, because of this tiny little majority that Republicans hold in the House. And they shouldn't have that. I mean, dear God, in the 2022 election, I don't know what happened that 4 of these scum managed to win their elections. Oh, well. So a few hours after being declared by this vote of 117 to 97 that he was going to be the nominee, he dropped out. Oh, no, I'm not going to piss off my Lord and Savior. Oh no, never happened. I'm just going to, no. Let me run and hide somewhere in Minnesota. Goodbye. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.